The first keyboard that we are looking at in 2026 is the Norytek70 from Neson Design. This is an FRL TKL featuring an exploded spacebar layout and the dot matrix screen on the navigation cluster. Aluminum version of this board comes in 4 different colorways, 3 anodized and 1 spray coat color, as well as 1 polycarbonate version of the board. I received the Sakura Pink colorway for review. You also have the option to choose wind key or wind keyless, and as well customize the internal weight, the front badge here, as well as the back badge here. The board only comes with an aluminum plate and is a gasket mounted board. Connection to the board is only via a 4-pin aviation connector cable right here, which will be provided in the keyboard kit, so don't worry if you don't own one. And this is the first Neson Design board that I've tried, so I am very looking forward to experience the Norytek70. First of all, I also wanted to clarify that this is a prototype unit, so some of what you see in the video will be changed or improved in the final production units. And as noted by Neson Design, the connection of the badge here to the main PCB will be changed to FPC cable instead of the pogo pin connector for a stable connection. The shape of the long strip weight, I believe, is this one here. The shape will be improved. The internal logo will also be modified, as well as the thickness and the hardness of the silicone foot pads as well will be improved. As well, my prototype unit seemed to have signs of usage, so this is probably a unit already built by other reviewers, or well, this is their sample unit. PCB has some issues while I was testing it, which I will talk about later on. And with that said, I have my own opinion on the Norytek70 after typing it for about a week. The design overall of the board is quite fun, and it has a very modern take to it compared to their previous 70% keyboard layout. The screen badge here on the navigation clusters looks quite futuristic, and I actually like the dot matrix that they implemented here. I like how the dot matrix feels like a part of the grid design they did overall for the board, and it's not just a random, dot matrix screen that they have to introduce out of nowhere just to fill in the empty space here. I also read that the right screen here, this one, can be swapped with custom animations in the final units. And right now, mine just shows a live reactive waveform whenever I type something on the board. And as for this colorway, the Sakura Pink colorway, it leans towards a lilac color in person, I would say. So definitely take note if you're thinking to get the pink Sakura colorway. The board also uses a proprietary 4-pin aviation connector, as I mentioned before, which probably is maybe a downside to some people, but don't worry, as this cable will be provided in each keyboard kit, and the cable is extremely great quality. For the typing experience, I have no quarrel with the typing feel. It definitely leans towards a stiffer typing experience, so keep that in mind. Exploded isolated spacebar slaps, and it is definitely the best sounding key of the entire board. The alphas sounds fantastic as well, and I mean that with and without foams. Currently, this board has no foams. However, as you start typing towards the edge of the board, the hollower it gets. With no foams, which is what I have currently right now, the hollowness is very prominent, especially on the navigation clusters and numro. The hollowness is reduced when you add more foams, but you can still hear some metal resonance, especially on the navigation clusters here. I'm not sure if it's because of the contact between the two cases, which causes the metallic resonance, but I wish they can improve on the acoustics, especially on the navigation clusters here, because the alphas and the spacebar sound incredible. I also did not over tighten the screws as well, and the hollowness is still there. As mentioned, I had issues with the PCB on my review unit since it shows signs of usage, as well as a lifted hot swap socket on the up arrow key here. It did not impact the build process and sound test overall, just to make it clear. And I have a feeling that it is just this prototype unit that I received, but I feel the need to point this out just in case it is an overall issue. Notice that when I built the board with no foams, I experienced key chatterings only on the left mod here. So whenever I press one of the left mod keys, it registers multiple key inputs. And the issue went away as soon as I add the case foams in, which leads me to believe that it is probably the lifted hot swap socket that's causing it, but I'm not very sure. So swapped two different switches to make sure that it is not the switch's problem and the chatterings are still happening. But the good news is that it is probably just my unit and it shouldn't affect the final units. But unfortunately, I cannot verify this, so I will still relay this PCB issue to Neson Design. Norytek70 starts at $480 minus shipping, and regional vendors have already started the group buy for the Norytek70. For the price that they're offering, I would really like to see them improve the acoustics a little bit more, especially on the right side here of the board, because they definitely nail the modern waffle design as well as this isolated spacebar, and this spacebar slaps. That is all for today's video, and I want to thank qwertyqop and Neson Designs for sending this review unit out for me to check out. Let me know what you think about the Norytek70 and if you will be getting one. I will see you all in the next video.